Yo, what's good, YouTube? In today's video, we're going over my new top 5 meta loadouts. You enjoy this video, be sure to give it a like for the algorithm, subscribe, notifications turned on, and let's get into it. All right, so for our first gun here today, we're going to be giving you guys a beautiful setup for the Holger 26, this new LMG setup. Really solid, and I think it's definitely something a lot of pro players are going to be using, and I've seen a lot being used in some of the rebirth events, so on and so forth, so I want to give you guys this exact setup here for it. By the way, for anyone that's going to ask, I do happen to have the new DNA event camo on this. That's the purple and everything like that. You guys can definitely get it. It's unlocked, so go ahead and get your DNA samples and stuff via playing those game modes. So first thing in here is gonna be the muzzle. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go on down and we're gonna throw on the Casus brake. This is such a good attachment, really stabilizes this gun out, helps your horizontal recoil and firing aiming stability. Definitely a really awesome attachment that I personally enjoy running, and it's just pretty much the best thing you guys can run on this gun. After that, in the barrel section, we have a couple options in here, but basically we're just trying to extend out our range as much as possible. And that is going to be through the Holger factory barrel, boosting us out here to a nice 39.6 meters of effective damage range. And our minimum is also our bullet velocity is at 873 meters per second, which we are still going to further increase here with some other attachments. Under barrel section, we're going to throw on the Brune Heavy support grip here. Pretty standard, tried and true. Works for basically every single build, especially when you're making a long range gun. The Brune Heavy is what you guys just should be running, so I'd recommend for you guys to go ahead and run this. Now down to the ammunition. We didn't run this on one of our last builds, but we're not running an optic here on this one, so we're going to be substituting out an optic for this. So we're going to go throw on the 5.56 NATO high grain rounds, which is boosting out your effective damage range to 45.6 meters. Of course, your bullet velocity is now over 1,000, meaning you're going to be hitting a lot of shots, and as long as you like those iron sights, it's going to be a fantastic build. If you don't want to run this, go throw on something like a Jack Glassless, and that'll be perfectly okay. But for our last attachment, just to stabilize it out even more so, we're running the Ascent Lord stock, which is going to help tremendously with your aiming auto sway, recoil control, gun kick control, and of course, firing aiming stability. Nice little 17, 7, and 7% increase overall. This is a great attachment, and overall, here is my full build. And here is your ability to get that screenshot. Next up, we're gonna give you guys an updated FJX Horus build. This is one of my personal favorites I've been running in Warzone right now. And of course, the FJX is just meta in general. I feel like it's almost been hitting a little bit better than the Superi for me, so I'm giving you guys my updated build here for it. So first thing, we have to go throw on a barrel. What we're gonna do is we're actually gonna go throw on this Sin 9 long barrel. I just really enjoy the increase in bullet velocity and range. It makes you almost have about that 12 meters in damage range, which still puts you up into that category of the Superi, especially if it's running like the Bore 99, which a lot of people actually run, which would bring it down to about 12 meters. So you're pretty much neck and neck right there at that point, which is pretty solid. And I do think this gun, even without it, like running the Martis heavy, you'd still be perfectly fine, but this just extends it out even more so. It makes it feel just a little bit better. After that, we're gonna go into muzzle. We're gonna throw on that Zeman 35 compensated flash hider. This is a really solid attachment. We've been running this on our FJX for the entire time. Keep in mind, by the way, that you can't throw on the Zeman until you throw on a barrel. So for anyone that's gonna get confused by that, you have to throw on a barrel before you throw on a muzzle attachment, but we're gonna throw this on there. We're going down here to the magazine section. We're gonna go throw on the 60 round drum here. So to tell you guys this right now, if you load up the detailed statistics, you can scroll back and forth between the 48 and the 60 round drum, and there is genuinely no difference. There is no extra penalties for having 60 rounds in your mag as opposed to 48. So there, unless you for whatever reason really enjoy the way the 48 round mag looks, there's no reason to run the 48. You should always go for the 60. Extra rounds, no extra penalties, same thing as the 48, but just extra rounds in your mag, which is awesome. Optics section, we go in here and throw on that Jack Glassless. It's going to help stabilize this thing out, make it just a little bit easier to be able to use. I think the iron sights are pretty trash. I really don't enjoy the iron sights on this thing almost at all. And so whenever I'm using the FJX, I will always go for something like the Jack Glassless. And then to finish this build off, we're going into the stock section, and we're going to use the no stock mod, which I know for some people may think it's like, oh, this is going to have a ton of recoil. It realistically does not have much recoil. Like hardly any. And if you don't want to run the no stock mod, throw in something like the Ripper light stock and you'll be good to go. And that's going to give you good mobility without giving you some of the extra recoil cons. I just prefer to be very fast, as I can control recoil very well. And so the no stock for me works out great, but it really doesn't have a whole lot. But just try it out for yourselves. So this is my full build for the FJX. And of course, here is your screenshot opportunity. Next up, we're giving you guys a nice build here for the Tempus Razorback. This is a gun that I feel like does not get enough love, as it is actually very good. And you guys can have some great success with it here at range. A nice medium to longerish range option. It's gonna be very controllable, easy to use. It's gonna be awesome overall. I was gonna use the SOA Subverter, but that thing has a very, very poor effective damage range on it, and it's not really as good as I was thinking it was. So I totally scrapped that, and we're gonna go for this gear for our next gun as a replacement. So the MW3 is going to be our first attachment on here just to stabilize it out. The Tempus Razorback has a weird sort of bounce around recoil, and so this can help us stabilize it out as much as possible here for a muzzle attachment. A lot of people like to run the cautious brake, which is a good option as well. I think majority of the people are going to find better success using the MW3, so that's why we're running that. Barrel section, we have a couple options in here, but realistically we're just trying to extend this out as much as possible. And of course this barrel is not going to be the best. It's going to be the 18 Tctekk, which is going to give you that nice 37.7 meters, 55 for your minimum, and of course a 754 meter per second bullet velocity, which will still increase, so you guys don't got to worry about that. But this is the barrel we're going to be choosing. Underbarrel section, this is a bit interesting because we don't have the Brune Heavy support grip as our choice for this. I mean, it's still like usable on here, but there's a specific grip that actually comes with this gun that you guys have to use. That's going to be a little bit farther down here, actually. That's going to be that DM Proto grip. So this is pretty much exclusive to the Tempus Razorback, and anytime we build it out, we are going to be using this. So you should always use this one. It's specific to it, and it's not used on anything else, and it's just the best for it. I mean, that horizontal recoil, you can see the nice little three triangles right there. It helps 35%, so big help. And this gun otherwise would definitely move around quite a bit. Ammunition, what we're going to do is we're going to go bolster overall damage range, make it a little bit better, and given it the 5.56 NATO high grains, we got a nice stabilizing barrel, the Zemin, we got the DM Proto, so now we can afford to make it a little bit more effective, and that is the 5.56 NATO high, which is what would boost you out to 867 meters, which is a pretty solid bullet velocity for an assault rifle, and 43.4, which puts you right up there at the top or upper end of competitive damage ranges for assault rifles. Lastly, to round off this build, we're gonna go through on that Jag Glassless. That's gonna be your only optic you guys should ever be running on this gun. You can maybe get away throwing on like a slate reflector, Night Model 2023, something else like that, but anything farther like a Choreo Eagle Eye, any of those other scopes, I would not recommend. This is pretty much a holographic style, red dot style assault rifle. So here's gonna be my full build. And of course, go ahead and get y'all a screenshot. Next up, I'm gonna give you guys a build here for the MCW, but not in the assault rifle form, in the close quarters form. Because it has a crazy fast TTK, and it is so good. So let's hop in here. Of course, first thing, and this is gonna be the Jack Raven conversion kit. That's what you guys have to run. Otherwise, it's gonna be the regular MCW, but you have to run that Jack Raven conversion kit for this thing to be worth using at close range. As the regular assault rifle, it's actually pretty decent, but it's definitely more effective as a closer range gun. So that's gonna be that first thing. We're gonna go on back here now to the magazine. We're gonna go throw on the 40 round mag for our first technical attachment. That's gonna be what we're running. 40 round mag is really solid, and I think you guys would enjoy running this. No reason to ever have the 30, just doesn't make sense, so go for the 40. After that, we're gonna go to the underbarrel section, and we're gonna go down in here and throw on the DR6 hand stop. This just keeps us just a little bit faster when we're trying to ADS. Aim walking speed's real good, sprint to fire and movement speed. This doesn't have the craziest overall movement speed because it is technically an assault rifle conversion. So this is gonna help us be a little bit faster and compete with like the Superi, the FJX Horus, so on and so forth. Barrel section, we have quite a few options in here, but basically the best one is gonna be the Kimura Black Iron Heavy Short Barrel. Gives you aim walking speed, aim walking steadiness, sprint to fire speed, and movement speed. It does kind of slow down your effective damage range, but when you guys put this into perspective here, 18 meters is farther out than any other SMG. Like we just made a build for the FJX, which has like 12 meters. The Superi at best has about 14.8. So 18 is perfectly fine, and your bullet velocity is still faster than basically everything else, or about the same. So you're not going to be losing those gunfights. This is going to have a great TTK. So for our last attachment, I would actually kind of prefer to go for an optic, and that's going to be the Jack Glassless or something like a Night Model 2023. I actually enjoy using that. I've ran it a little bit here. So this is really solid. If you guys want to utilize the iron sights, all you really got to go do is throw in like a Zemin 35 if you want to go down that route to stabilize it, or go back into the rear grip section and add on, I believe it's the Rapid Strike. So that'll be pretty good as well. But this is going to be my full build right here. And like I said, if you don't want to take that off, go into the rear grip section, maybe throw on the Rapid Strike to give you a little bit faster speed, or throw on that Zemin. But overall, an optic, Jack Glassless, or the Night model, which is gonna be a little bit down here. this is going to be the way to go. Here's your screenshot opportunity. And last but definitely not least, we're going to give you guys a Superi 46 build. This is a newer and updated one. A lot of people running that Bore 99 barrel, but we're going to show you guys you can run something a little bit different, and it's going to be still just as awesome and have better damage range. So first thing is going to be that Zeman 35. Pretty standard. Got to stabilize the gun out. Zeman 35 is going to do the trick. After that, all we're focusing on is speed and just making this gun as usable and good at close quarters as possible. Barrel section, we're gonna go through on the Zulu OP3 light barrel. I used to run this quite a bit. Switched over to that Bore 99. I feel like I've been getting kind of a little bit too outgunned when I've been using that Bore 99, just because you do lose your effective damage range down to that 12.9 meters. Your bullet velocity goes down. I feel like I've been losing a little bit too much, so I really enjoy having that Zulu OP3. Makes it so your shots just, you know, hit a little bit better because it's not, you're not losing anything, and what you really are gaining is the ADS movement speed, so it allows you to strafe back and forth and be a harder target to hit, which is really good. Now we're gonna go down here to the magazine section, go through on the 40 round mag. This is obviously a magazine, by the way, from one of the Black Cell blueprints. I get at questions about all the stuff I use, so it's just a magazine from one of the Black Cell blueprints, but it is a 40 round mag nonetheless. Optics section, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go use what we did for the last gun, which is gonna be that Nidar model 2023. You can still use the JAG glassless if you want to, but it's not about that Nidar. This feels really good, and it works on close quarters guns like SMGs. We ran this on the Uzi, you know, the WSP9. That's a really fun one to run the Nidar model 2023 on, but it does work out very nice for this application. And lastly, we're in the stock section. We go through on the Rescue 9 stock just to speed us up, make us be able to run around real fast. I mean, obviously you're not going to ADS as fast as if you had the Bore 99, like an XRK Edge or something like that. This is a great different style of build that's still going to be really fast. You're not going to lose any of that effective damage range that you would otherwise. So this is a really solid, fun build to use. Go ahead and get y'all a screenshot for this one. That being said, that's my top 5. Enjoy the video, give it a like for the algorithm, subscribe so notifications turned on, check out this other video on screen. I'll see you all next time.